Grayson Weltic here with Gator Piss, and today we are going to be doing the etching tutorial on Gator Piss Heavy. So Gator Piss Heavy is going to be a great option for your mono steel and your mono core blades. It's also a fantastic option for Mokume. You can use it to do a stonewash textured finish. It's going to be great for production guys. This etchant gives you a dark contrast very quickly. No fuss, no finicky going back and forth to the acid, hand sanding or buffing. 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, good to go. So if you're doing multiple knives at once or doing large batches, this is gonna be the perfect etchant for you. In order to etch with Gator Piss Heavy, you're gonna need a few supplies. We've got our shop rags, WD-40, and our brake clean. We also use these dry food storage containers. We prefer these because you can see the product when you're actually etching with it, and you can also be assured you're not gonna break any glass and get acid all over the place. You can find these dry food storage containers online at Amazon. They're just a great option for etching in. All right, so we've got our Gator Piss Heavy at roughly room temperature, right around 70 degrees. That's the sweet spot. You want to be somewhere in between 65 to 85. When it gets too cold, you'll start to get some splotchiness, some weird action. The acid also will be much less effective, much slower. So ideally, you want to be right around 70 degrees. All right, so for your blade finish, you're gonna wanna take your blade up to 600 grit, really clean lines. You wanna make sure that you've got a pure 600 grit finish, no leftover 400 or 220 grit scratches. This will ensure that your etch is very clean, very consistent, and exactly the way you want it. Here, I've taken this blade up to 600 grit, hand sanded, and then I've buffed it. You really don't need to buff it. It's kind of my preference, but it's not necessary. All right, it's time to clean up this blade. We're gonna go ahead and hit it with some brake clean. We're gonna make sure there's absolutely no schmutz left over from buffing it or from grinding it, whatever you may have done prior. We have a good quality brake clean here. Gonna get it on a cloth, a little shop cloth, and just wipe down the blade. Make sure there's no black coming off on the shop cloth. And you may have to use one or two shop cloths, more than one. What I'm looking for is to make sure that there's absolutely no rouge that's been incorporated into the shop cloth once you've brake cleaned it. What you'll end up doing is you'll end up spreading that rouge around in a really fine layer, and it's kind of hard to see. So you just kind of hold it up in the light and check it out. Make sure there's no spots you miss, no watermarks or anything. And once you're confident with that, you're ready to go ahead and put it in the Gator Piss Heavy. We've got our clean blade and we're ready to go into the acid. We're gonna go in for a 10-minute soak. I'm gonna give it a little swish as soon as I put it in there just to kind of stir it up, make sure there's no air bubbles clinging to the blade, and we'll be good to go. So in our Gator Piss Heavy, we have Elite Copper Mai. This is from Baker Forge & Tool. It's got a 80 CRV2 core, and it's gonna look delicious. All right, we're about halfway through this etching cycle, so we're just gonna give it a little peek, make sure there's nothing goofy going on, and it looks phenomenal. So we're just gonna go right back into the acid and let it finish out that full 10-minute cycle. That's been 10 minutes in the Gator Piss Heavy, and we are ready to pull this out and neutralize it. We're gonna be using a Windex or ammonia blend. You can also use a baking soda bath if you don't have Windex, and that'll be just fine. You wanna make sure that you really get the blade all over the place though, and make sure there's absolutely no acid left on it. So this was just etched for 10 minutes, and it just goes to show you what you can attain in 10 minutes. So the production guys are gonna really love this. It's gonna be a quick dip, and you're gonna be all set up and ready to go on to the next blade. If you'd like to get more depth, you can go ahead and repeat this process, do a little buff in between to reduce all the oxides left on the blade, and make sure it's real clean again, and then just do the same process one more time. And that'll build up more and more depth as you repeat that process. 10 minutes is all you really need. For the production guys, you're gonna love that. You just drop it in the acid, 10 minutes later, you have a gorgeous finish and it's gonna be consistent across the board. Now that we have our blade neutralized, we're ready to go ahead and hit it with some WD-40. Any sort of sprayable oil is just fine. You just wanna make sure that you're not gonna get any flash rusting, and you're gonna remove all of that Windex or baking soda solution that you've just used to neutralize the blade. This blade has now been oiled, and we are ready to just hang it up and let those oxides set. We're gonna give this one at least 6 hours. Usually it's best to just leave it for the night, come back the next day and pick it up, and then go ahead and wipe it dry. This is gonna make sure that your oxides have adequately clung to the blade and dried out into that pore space you've just created when etching. So that's Gator Piss Heavy. As you can see, super easy etch, very consistent results. Those oxides are set, just 10 minutes in an overnight hang, and you are locked in, ready to go. The crucial part of this is the WD-40, making sure you let that blade hang for adequate amount of time in order to allow those oxides to dry and cling to the blade. Perfect for production guys, great on mono steel, instantly blacked out. All right, I'm Grayson Weltick, and that's a wrap on Gator Piss Heavy.